Record in this computer. Okay, I think it's working now. Oh, so my name is Wright. I'm here doing my video for touring the standards. So let's talk about standards and what they are. So standards are the learning goals that show students what they should be able to do and what they should know. Curriculum is the plan or lessons that teachers use to teach those goals. Now, the difference between them is that standards are more of like the what of what students are learning, and the curriculum are more of the how. And lovely graphic also helps show that. But we use our curriculum as a way to complete or meet our standards. I like to think of it where our standards are kind of like a path on a road of where we want students to get, and our curriculum is our plan on how to follow that path. Now, what is the teacher's role in deciding what is taught in the classroom? I think that teachers need to use the standards to guide what they teach, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have to teach exactly what the standards are saying. I think teachers also get to decide how they're teaching those standards. They can plan lessons, do activities, and even just have fun examples or like role-playing situations where students can learn. They can adjust their teaching to help individual students that might be struggling more than others and provide extra help or challenges as needed. Um, Teachers are just kind of there to use this curriculum. Sorry, not teachers aren't there. The curriculum is there for teachers to use as a guide in their classrooms and just as a clear standard of what is expected of the teachers to teach the students and what the students need to be taught. If that makes sense. So here we are with Idaho content standards. So I'm gonna go ahead. My area I'm gonna focus on will be the fifth grade mathematics essential extended guide. So I should open up here, hopefully. Okay, perfect. So I want to talk about this guide here. First of all, I want to define, or just kind of go over how this is set up. So it starts off with a nice introduction page, explaining why the guide was created. It describes 4 types of standards, showing how each one can help teachers focus on what's most important. Now, I want to go in as we get into the actual standards part. Each standard is separated. It has this little like big ideas box at this top and different little definitions of the words. So OA stands for operations and algebraic thinking. NBT is going to be numbers and operations in base tense. There's more like NF, which is here, and that's number and operations with fractions. MD is measurements and data, and then there's GA and GB down below, which is going to be geometry clusters A and B. And then when you see the 5, that is to represent fifth grade. So, for example, this one here would be fifth grade operations and algebraic thinking cluster A, and that would be to write and interpret numerical expressions. So that's where cluster A will have a kind of, that'll be the setup for kind of each different grouping. Now going in more about how this is organized, the middle section is divided into 8 instructional groupings, each with big ideas, essential standards, and supporting standards for key math topics. So we've kind of saw that here, big ideas, essential standards, supporting standards. Like place value, decimals, fractions, data, geometry, it goes over kind of all of that, coordinate planes. The last section of this guide, let's go down there, here, starting here, is Appendix A, is what they call it. It gives planning templates to help teachers map out just the year and plan out units. Overall, it goes from general information to just organizing standards, then tools for planning. So that's kind of how that goes. Now, sorry, what main categories and subcategories are used to organize the standards? So the standards are organized in a way, or in 2 ways. So first, they're grouped by type. So essential standards, these are like their most important or like um, you know, just big ones. And then they have supporting, sorry, I have to check my notes. The supporting standards, and these are like help building that understanding. And so, sorry, I'm reading my notes wrong. They're grouped by type. So essential standards, supporting standards, additional standards, and big ideas. Second, they're grouped by topic into 8 groups. So there's place value, decimals, adding, fractions, multiplying fractions, dividing fractions, data, measurement, and the coordinate plane. So this makes each standard clear on how they connect. So if you like look here, This one's going to be division with fractions. Then we've got representing data. Then we have the geometric measurements. So it goes into each of the different standards. So it's set out very clearly for teachers to see and follow and go along with. Now we have the grade 5 standards. So what key concepts and vocabulary are included in the standard? Oh, let me go back to my slides. I have here grade 5 standard. So the standard I picked was 5. The number and operations fractions, cluster A, section 1. Add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators, including mixed numbers, by replacing given fractions with the equivalent fractions to produce an equivalent sum or difference. So what key concepts and vocabulary are included in the standard? For key concepts and vocabulary, I picked out important words like fractions, unlike denominators, mixed numbers, equivalent fractions, and these are just different concepts and vocabulary words that students need to understand to be able to complete the standard and also to move on to future standards. For key skills and abilities included in the standard, I have verbs like add, abstract, add, subtract, replace, and produce. These show what the students need to do in each standard, as well as like gives that verb there that's showing them what kind of skill is going to be assessed and what they're expected to be able to do. I also want to go ahead and do my Bloom's taxonomy of where I feel it goes. And using Bloom taxonomy, I put this standard at the apply level because students are using what they know about fractions to solve problems, not just remembering or like using their understanding. So, or they're using their understanding. So it kind of builds up. They already remembered, they're already understanding, so now they're applying. For Webb's depth of knowledge, the standard is at level 2. This is applying skills and concepts. Students use steps and show understanding of fraction relationships, but the work follows familiar procedures rather than involving deeper investigation. Um, so yeah, this is my standard, and I believe that's all we needed to do. So thank you very much. Bye.